Good evening, friends. Stephen Benoon. We are watching Israeli News Live. The Houthi rebels have struck Ben Gurion Airport in Israel. You can see some of these missiles here going off there are coming in, smaller missiles coming in, but it was the hypersonic Houthi missile that struck the Ben Gurion Airport. Here it comes. See it? The Houthi rebels used a hypersonic missile, and it did hit the Ben Gurion Airport. Don't know exactly where it hit. It doesn't look like too large of an explosive right there, but it did hit the Ben Gurion Airport. We'll play it again. And of course, Trump is furious. He is warning Iran. And speaking about Iran, Trump has had to, let's see, where is that at? Trump is having to back off his ships from the region there because of threat of the Houthi rebels. And I think they actually hit one of the ships.
Waves of attack drones descend upon them, catching even US military planners off guard. Prior to the conflict, the general consensus in Washington was that Yemen lacked the capability to strike with precision against aircraft carriers and US destroyers. Yet, the country's increasingly sophisticated drone warfare and ability to penetrate American naval defenses have forced a dramatic reassessment at the highest levels of Trump's military command. In response, Trump issued a fiery statement accusing Iran of orchestrating and facilitating the attacks. Declaring on his Truth Social platform that Tehran would now bear full responsibility for any further assaults on US naval assets, he went so far as to threaten military retaliation against Iran. His remarks signaled, for the first time, an implicit acknowledgement by the US that Yemen's armed forces had developed a highly effective drone and missile warfare strategy.
And that warfare strategy is pushing US ships further and further from that coastline there. Yemen has mainly been targeting Israeli interests, and this is what the Yemeni spokesman had to say. We'll listen into this here real quick here, what he says here.
In support of the oppressed Palestinian people and in support of their striving resistance, the missile force targeted Ben Gurion Airport in the occupied Jaffa area with a Zulfikar ballistic missile, and a military target south of occupied Jaffa with a Palestine II hypersonic ballistic missile. The operation successfully achieved its goal, thanks be to God. In response to the ongoing U.S. aggression against our country, the missile force, the unmanned aerial vehicle, and the naval forces carried out a joint military operation targeting enemy warships in the Red Sea, led by the U.S. aircraft carrier Truman, with a number of ballistic and cruise missiles and drones.
Yahya Saree said their operations have thwarted the U.S. attempts to advance its warships towards the southern Red Sea region and to expand its aggression against Yemen through strikes from the sea. The spokesman said that deadly U.S. aggressions will only increase the Yemeni steadfastness and resilience, and that the operations of the past few days.
And as we already know there, that Trump had to pull back his ships from that region because of that very threat that he's talking about there. So it has become a real threat. It is becoming a real issue there. By the way, you're seeing scenes where Israel is also launching attacks. They're actually launching attacks on 4 different countries right now at once: Yemen, Syria, Lebanon, and the Palestinians in both Gaza and the West Bank as well. It is really a horrible situation, and the Middle East continues to go up in flames. Reminds me of that video I did just recently showing where even Trump, in his desire to take Canada and Greenland as part of the 1973 Club of Rome map, where they wanted to divide the world up into 10 regions. So think about it. Even the 2030 agenda also speaks of that very same thing there.